So you'll be able to see everything and reference back. So tonight we're going to change a little bit of this schedule because one of our presenters has to leave us early. So we'll start with our council events, but we're going to go through our new unit on our new online registration and BeAScout pins, Scoutbook, some membership growth tips, and how to hold some meetings during COVID, and council and PAC events, and then popcorn. Popcorn we'll just touch on briefly since that's quite a large topic and there's a lot of changes this year. So I'd like to start with and introduce Tom McFadden to discuss some of the council events that are going on this year. So Tom, if you'd be able to unmute yourself and share a little bit of those with us.
Hi, Jonathan. Yeah, this is Tom McFadden. For those that don't know me, I am a volunteer. I am on the executive board and the executive committee, and I'm the vice president of programming for the council. And a couple of years ago, we began organizing activities that kids are always enjoying at summer camp or at day camp, but don't have many opportunities to participate in because the supervision that's required requires special training or there's special equipment that's necessary. So most units don't get a chance to do as many of these activities as they would like to. And what I'm talking about is the things that kids go crazy about at boot camp and the day camp, which would be BB gun shooting or archery, climbing on the climbing wall, fishing activities. And so we have organized committees of people that are enthusiasts on these things, that understand the Scout advancement and understand how to run these programs and are qualified with their training to present them. And Jonathan, I don't know if you have any kind of a slide that shows the dates of these activities, but we're making them available at our local campsites at Camp Ocaro and Camp Crown. And they are available for a simple registration. Some of these activities are open registration. Basically, you can rent the equipment, and if you need assistance, we can make it available for you. And this would include campsite rentals, of course, at Crown and Ocaro. We also have canoes that will be appropriate for Cub Scouts and suggestions on where you can take your Scouts. For instance, right around the corner from Camp Ocaro is a wonderful spring lake. And so it's flat water canoeing. Canoes, Cub Scouts are cleared to canoe on flat water. And so we can provide the trailer and the canoes and supervision, PFDs and paddles and everything if you'd like to do that. Kayaks are also available, but for Boy Scouts. And then these other activities that we have are all hosted by members of our outdoor committee. For instance, we held 4 dates in July that we announced on the iHub and promoted the Bear Goes Fishing at Camp Ocaro. In August, we're holding 2 dates on August 15th and August 29th for Boy Scouts, and Doug Lindsay, who's our fishing chair, is hosting fishing and fly fishing merit badges on those days. One of the more exciting of the activities that we're offering is the new pump track, a bicycle pump track at Camp Crown. And if you're not familiar with this, and not too many people are in our area because it's mostly a California activity, think of it as a skate park for bicycles. And so we're opening that up now. We've opened it up in July, and we have dates coming up both this Saturday, the 8th, and also on the 22nd for the pump track. We'll provide the bikes, we'll provide the helmets, although we'd like people to bring their helmets if possible, It helps with the keeping the area sanitary while we're promoting the social distancing. And we'll have some people there that will help the kids to participate in the activity and learn how to do it. It's not like riding your bicycle down the sidewalk. That's all I can tell you. But it's also been proven out with kids that are as young as 6 years old. And then at Camp O'Carroll, we have archery events and BB gun shooting or pellet gun shooting for Webelos. And the dates coming up there in August are also the 8th and the 22nd. At Camp O'Carroll, we've got Fishing Merit Badge on the 15th and the 29th. In addition, there are other activities that are available at the camps. Both at O'Carroll and Crown now have Gaga pits that are available. Just show up, bring your own ball, and fishing equipment at Camp O'Carroll. So the kids can go fishing in Michael Pond. This fall, because it's going to be difficult to impossible to hold our conventional activities like boot camp, we had to postpone the Cub Family Camporee from the spring. We're going to have weekends that we're looking for every other weekend during the fall to have all these activities. So think about archery, BB guns, wrist rockets, or rock throwing at the famous rock throwing wall at Camp O'Carroll, cycling at the pump track at Camp Crown, and canoeing. So that's it. All this information is available on iHub, and you can link from iHub to reserve a spot for yourself. Doesn't have to be the whole pack. We've opened it up. Individuals can sign up, or you can sign up a den. Registration is somewhat limited because the size of the groups has to remain small. It's like 10 or 12 kids. And we will be practicing, safe activities in small groups, wearing masks, and cleaning equipment between uses for all these activities. I don't know if there's any questions or people, anybody have any particular questions about this. The idea is to get kids back outside and doing some regular scouting activities, but to do it in a safe way, given the COVID-19 concerns and the cautions that we have to take.
All right. Thank you very much, Tom. We'll be emailing brochures after the meeting to everyone who signed up, and give you a link to sign up. So you don't need to remember those dates. We'll get those to you right after this meeting.
Great. Jonathan, you've got the circular that we've prepared for that?
Yes, I do.
Great. And if anybody has any questions, they can contact me or contact me by email at neicoutdoor@gmail.com. Great. Hope we see you guys outside with your Cub Scouts. Thanks, Jonathan.
Yep. Thank you, Tom, for being able to join us tonight. We're covering a lot of topics, so I'm going to transition to our next one, which is our new online registration, which is new to many packs, and our BeAScout pin. First, I'll cover the public view. So when a parent Googles Find Scouting or anything scouting related, they'll be directed to beascout.org, and you can directly send them to that website. New this year is there's not a cash option to pay for registrations. So when someone Googles it, it will look like this. They'll search by zip code. Pack 231 here does not have online applications available. They do not have that apply now button, but they do have their PIN filled out, so parents can see who to contact for the pack. But this pack below, 673, does have that apply now button. So if you click that apply now button, you get sent to a page like this, where adults or youth can apply. So let's pretend we're a youth that's applying to join that pack, and you'll get sent to a page that looks like this. It's just like signing up for any other sport, any sport online or any other activity online. First page is youth information. Second's parent guardian. Third is some legal stuff you got to click OK to, and then you check out and pay. It's very straightforward. So that's the public view. Now I'm going to show you what you would see as a leader. So this would be your Cub Masters, committee chairs, your charter org rep, and you find this on my.scouting.org, and it's under Organization Manager. So you click on the menu down to Organization Manager, and that's what this looks like. So you clicked on Organization Manager, and you want to click on Unit Pin. And when you get to Unit Pin, it's pretty self-explanatory page here. You pick which adult is going to be the contact. You have a unit website section that you can fill out, and there's an additional unit information. I think that year, this year, it's very important to be filling out something related to your meetings for this year, because your meetings are probably not what they normally are. So if you're not meeting at your school, maybe meeting at a church, or maybe meeting sporadically, indicate that in your additional information. Or if you have additional pack dues, that might be a place to put that too. You can also decide which information you want to display by toggling right or left. This leader did not want his phone number displayed, so he turned that off. So just folks will be able to see his email address. Now, if someone clicks that Apply Now button, they'll send you an application, and I'll show you what that page looks like. So this again is for your Cub Masters, your committee chairs, and your charter org representatives to respond to invitations and applications. So if you have an application that someone's applied, invitation, someone wants more information. New this year is the charter org representative may designate a delegate to accept online adult applications. So for some charter org representatives, they might not be the right person to be going online. They'll have to go online once to designate someone that can accept adult applications, and that would be some other registered adult in the pack. So this is under membership manager in my.scouting.org. So it looks like this when you log in. On the left, you have applications, which is your people who applied, and then invitations, so people who want more information. And then down at the bottom, if you want a link to apply, so someone could scan this with their phone and they'll be sent to your page to join your pack. There's the QR code and there's a direct link. So if you wanted to post that on social media, there's a direct link to apply. There is this pack 10 does not have any open applications or new applications or anything pending. They have 3 closed ones. If you do, this view button will show up. You'll click there and you'll accept the applications or direct it to district if it's in the wrong pack that they're applying to. And then we will reassign it from there to a different pack. We'll answer some questions if there's some questions about that during the Q&A, but I'd like to toss it to Chris and Brian for Scoutbook.
Well, thanks, John.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump in here first. My name is Brian Lamberg. I'm the district commissioner for Potawatomi and part of your commissioner team. So the first thing I wanted to mention to you is anyone that needs any assistance at all for anything, navigating through all of the new ideas that are coming through for the fall scouting, please let your commissioner know or let me know. You can see my email is up there. So reach out anytime. That's what we're here to do. So tonight, we are very, very excited to offer each pack, troop, and crew some personal assistance in tips, tricks, or just if you're getting started with the Scoutbook. We're here as your team to personally help you. You contact us and we'll get in touch with you, and we'll be able to help walk you through it. So currently our team includes Chris Hersey, Chuck Pint, myself, and we're looking for others to fill out the team. So right now I'm going to pass this to Chris. Chris Hersey spent hours upon hours getting to know and understand the Scoutbook process. So Chris, it's all you.
Okay, thanks, John. I'm going to try to share a screen now, which is basically going to be like an introduction to some training videos. And what I did is I think they're very good. I sat through them and just took a screenshot of what I thought was kind of important, or to have a feel to show you, and go through all the aspects of the Den Leader experience, which is a new part of Scoutbook, which was introduced last fall and has gone through significant improvements and is, ready for another strong showing in the fall. So I'm going to try to share a screen right now, and let's see if this, okay, so here we go. So, okay, so can everybody see that? It says Scoutbook Den Leader Experience Short Topical Videos. Yeah? Okay. So if you happen to Google search this is what comes up, where you have the new video series. They were actually put out on January 21st. And right below this is the actual web address link that you can go to in order to see this. And we do have this in a document. It's PDF. It's pretty small, so we can send you the documents. All you got to do is request them. Okay. So, and if I scroll down here, this is the screen that you'd expect to see, and it's in Scouting Wire. And there's a whole lot of information, not just on Scoutbook, but Scouting Wire. And there's a lot of, technological platforms that I think that we're really lucky to have, and we should really be trying to embrace them and not be afraid of them at all. So, okay, so then down a little bit lower, then they give you this introduction. They say, hey, we've been working really hard, and we made a lot of changes over the year because everybody had questions. And there's also been a lot of forums that I've been very active in reading about, and hopefully becoming part of the process when you see something that you don't like or you ask a question. And I'm glad to say that the people have been very, very responsive to questions or concerns that I've had. And so that's a very good thing. Okay, so now, then this is the actual listing of the videos. And so we're just going to take 20 seconds to go through these, and then we'll flip to another PDF document and we'll go through each one very quickly. Okay, so getting started, adding Scoutbook to your home screen. You're going to see that's either an application or a browser. And then the dashboard, this is the way you navigate in the main areas of the program. Then there's a section on meetings, and the calendar, which is what you use to plan your whole year for all the dens. And then you have another great section like on roster, where you have control over your parents, your scouts, and the also is a portal for inviting leaders and parents and scouts to your den. Okay, so that concludes the first PDF. And let's see if this works right then. All I got to do now is go to number 1. So this is going to be, these are the screenshots now. Okay, so when you start the first training, it's adding Scoutbook to your home screen. And like I said, the only thing is and if you guys are not technical, we can go on Q&As later, but you either install a phone app or you do it on your browser, either one. Okay, and that, these things where it says 1 minute, that's how long the training video is. So they did a lot to make these be very, very short. So, that works really well with our short attention span. Okay, the next one, 32 seconds to learn how to access your account. Okay, so that's it. You just click on this face right here in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, so the next thing, okay, navigating the main pages. Really, you've got 3 main pages. Navigation is on the campfire page, where you find your way home. The roster page, which has all your scouts and adults, and the calendar that shows your meetings and dates. Okay, and this is an example. Let's see, navigating the main page. This happens to be a screenshot of a calendar that shows in blue are the PAC meetings, and in the either red or orange, those are typically the den meetings. Okay, so taking the training. Now, this was a really great feature within the Den Leader experience. And what it does is it shows you how to take you to your personal training page with just one link on the Den Leader experience. It'll take you to your training page, show you what your training is, and you can even access additional training from there, okay? Finding resources. This is, okay, 1 minute, 18 seconds. The resources in the Den Leader experience is really quite extensive. It's a lot of sections of the actual Scout handbooks. It's a lot of some of the favorite picks of the Den Leader books, you know, whether they're something like a diversity worksheet for this Cub Scout, some kind of chart, a Den duty chart, all of that stuff is embedded into the program, and probably a lot of the times it's in the meeting plan for the particular meeting. Okay, so a lot of resources. Okay, so preparing for the next meeting. So, I'm sorry, did somebody have a question? We're good? Okay. Preparing for the next meeting. This is a long video. See, this is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So it goes into how you actually prepare for the meeting, and there's a beginning, let's see, preparing for the next meeting. Here, this is where you clicked on one meeting and it has a before and during and after. Okay, so this is an example of before the meeting. This is what you get together, you gather. Okay, then when you have during the meeting, that actually, here I said detailed steps for preparing the meeting, and you have excerpts, micro-topic program support from the Scout Handbook and Den Leader Guide, access by expanding on the meeting step or topic. Okay, so then this right here, then this is selecting your den. So some of you may have more than one den, and the tool makes it really, really easy to switch between the dens once the dens are set up. And that's really pretty amazing. So, you know, you can have control over rosters and program 4 different dens. And it can also help because you might want to go back into, you know, the den that's ahead of you to see like what's up for next year. Okay, so available dens, that's once again on okay, where it says now setting up a den, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. It's setting up the den, but I think it might be better described as setting up the meetings for the year. It doesn't set up the individual scouts into a den. That's done in Scoutbook traditional. But just to go on, with setting up the den, what you do is it says, okay, you're gonna select what type of den is it? Is it a boy den or a girl den? Okay, once you make that selection, it says, when does your den plan to meet up? And that's gonna be a time, usually 7 o'clock, okay? And then it says, where do you meet? And how often do you meet? And then once you do that, then you click a button, and then a big ape appears and says, huh, you know, that's some comical relief there, right? And it's also cautionary tale because you're just about ready to push a button that a whole bunch of things happen. Okay, so then once you push the button, all the den meetings are schedules, but they can be moved around quickly with practice. Okay, so that's the end of that group. Okay, so I'm going to move to the next group. Are we ready? I know we're going really fast, but then now this is the second one. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover now next in that 17 list. Understanding the calendar view, editing your calendar, taking attendance. And then in the roster section, we've got finding the parents, finding your scouts, inviting a leader to your den, inviting a parent to your den, inviting a scout to your den, and viewing an adult's profile. Now, it may seem like these are a lot of topics, but these are very, very much sliced down into the detail level, and these videos don't take a long time, and so it's really covering a lot of materials, and I think that's done very, very well. Okay, so here you go, understanding the calendar view. Well, once you have everything in your calendar, it's just like right here are the dates, and then these are the topics. It's really, really easy to understand. The PAC meetings are in blue, and the den meetings are in orange or yellow or red. And the meeting times can be edited. You can also put 2 meetings on one day. And so it's really pretty manageable, but you get much, much faster with practice. Okay, then when you want to navigate to meetings, you just press the button in the left-hand corner of the screen down here. Okay, and then you can get into the edit mode. Then what you do is you just click on the pencil in the upper right-hand corner here, and then it'll bring you into editing mode where you can then like edit the time. And this is the screen that you'll see where it's got, here's the calendar day right here, and then you have the starting time. Okay, so then that's, you know, so if you have a pad of paper, I mean, you can move them around on the screen, but I found if you have a pad of paper and put them where you want, sometimes that helps you go faster. Then whenever you make changes, the big ape that says "home" comes, and then you have to confirm it, and then it says "rock on."
Yeah, go ahead.
We're fine? Okay. And Ann, are we okay on time, or do I need to stop? Okay. Then also to take attendance, you can do that anytime up to 2 weeks after the meeting. And so you just click on the meeting and you select take attendance, which happens to be, well, it's not on this screen, but you take attendance right here, select take attendance, and then the kids' names with their monster faces come up. And so then you select them so that the check mark is there, and then your attendance is done. It takes almost no time at all. Okay, and then let's see. Then in the roster, now it's here how to find adults. When you go to the roster and you click adults, if you select the individual adult, their profile can come up. You can also invite them to become a leader, or you can invite other parents. To find scouts, you click on the bottom right corner. Now I found on my phone, this didn't work, and some things work much, much better on a laptop. So this is what it looked like on the, that's the video, okay? This is what it looked like on the laptop to invite, like to search for a scout. So you can search for a scout, you can invite a scout, and you can also invite an adult. And you can also view an adult's profile. This happens to be the profile for, and this is a picture of Brian Lambert. So that covers that one. All right, so then the last one that I just wanted to show is some of the depth of the program material in assisting to actually schedule the den meetings and what kind of material from the handbooks and the den leader guides are in there. Okay, so let's take, for example, the Webelow Arrow of Light, Building a Better World. Okay, the calendar actually says, okay, we're gonna do this in 3 meetings. And this is where I had suggested you might put 2 of these together, because one of these is maybe where you have a visit by a mayor or something like that. And then, but so it all depends on how often you meet. But I find for our pack, where we typically will meet once or twice a month, to combine some of them makes a lot of sense. And then you may not get through everything, but you'll get through most. So then here's some of the depth that it has. So before the meeting, like, you can get a complete list of the requirements just by expanding on the requirement tab. So this list right here, what all the requirements are, exactly what they would be in the handbook. Then a little bit after that, then it says this is in preparing before the meeting. It's telling you what you need to get together for the meeting. And this kind of makes it really easy to delegate off. You know, more than one person could perhaps share putting together the meeting. And once again, you can still do your own thing, but the fact that there's a thought out, well-planned attempt across the whole program, all the dens to do this, it's a huge amount of information that's right there in one place. Okay, and then here's in notes to the den leader. This once again is the preparation before the meeting. Okay, and then this is an example of one of the items from the handbook that they thought was important to put in there. And it's about the history of the United States flag. Now, it doesn't have the whole handbook in there, but it's got some of the best picks that they thought was the most valuable content to have at your fingertips. Okay, and this is just on the history of the flag, you know, so it's only got 2 pages there. Okay, and then, so if you can just imagine at a den meeting, you've got this, and if you've got it electronically ready, you can have this, all this information presentable. And that's all I've got. Hello?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then if there's any questions and answers, you could do that in the question and answer period, unless John or Ann, you think they want to ask questions now.
We'll do that in the Q&A. Chris, could you stop your share?
Okay, I'm going to stop my share right now. Okay, I'm stopped.
So we're going to go through next. Our next topic is our membership growth tips. So step 1 would be setting up your online BeAScout PIN and accepting online applications. So here are some of the tips that we've discussed. And after I run through this, I believe Russ is on the line too. I'll throw it to him and he can fill in some gaps. Russ is our VP of membership. We're recommending that efforts for PACs start earlier this year, because as we get into the school year, parents are going to be more busy into their year than ever before because of how the school year is going to be. We're going to have to consider as a PAC joining nights without school access. One of our PACs in Potawatomi is renting a park. They're doing some games at the park, socially distanced games, as the adults are signing up the youth to join the PAC. So part of promoting that now, because you don't have good school access with COVID, is online registration and online recruiting. And online recruiting is using your networks that you already have on Facebook and other social networks. You have a lot of family groups, town groups, different buy-sell trade groups on Facebooks where you can get the word out about events going on for young people. I know most parents are a member of some group on Facebook that has to do with children's activities in their school. Another idea that we're recommending is drive-through recruitment events. It'd be like your traditional recruitment, except you'd be able to drive through, pick up your packet and information, have that handed through the window to you, and then have it handed back. So you're really limiting that contact and that amount of time. Another thing you could do is that QR code that I showed you for online applications. You could use that at your recruitment event so they could sign up using their own phone or using a tablet. As a council, we're offering geofencing on Facebook and Instagram. So that will help promote events within a certain geographic area around your PAC. So we'll select 2 or 3 miles around where your PAC community is, and that will push ads in that community in just that little section of your zip code. So a virtual recruiting night, if you're getting the word out online with your friends, and I'll show you on our next slide a way to do that, you would have your parents meeting at night for introducing your parents to the Cub Scout PAC. So you have your parent orientation meeting on Zoom. Or if you're able to, consider a park for an outdoor event too. I'll show you a little bit more on that next slide with advertisings through social media. We're having virtual den meeting support and Weeble Adventures. And as the year goes on, we're going to be continuing to push out more online virtual activities for Cub Scouts and Weeblos to be doing during the year. So there'll always be a program that we're pushing out for young people. And all this is going to be pushed out on iHub. So it's very important that that's a favorited website of yours to check out what's going on. You can also subscribe to an account there on iHub, and they'll push out those updates to you. Another way to get the word out, and we have templates for Cub Scout PACs, is a hometown correspondent. So it's like a press release that we can give to you. So if you're doing a community service project or something good in your community, that's a great way to get the word out. Local newspapers love good, positive stories, especially now. So if you're doing something even as simple as a flag retirement ceremony, that's something that local news would like to know about. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our Friends Follow Friends campaign. We're pushing out this campaign on Facebook and Instagram. And you can see my post here that I made on Facebook. We have a frame that you can print out. And ideally, it wouldn't be the 30-year-old in the frame. There would be a young person, maybe a young person and their parent in there. And if you have a young person in the frame and you tag our council, Northeast Illinois Council, on Facebook or on Instagram, you'll be entered to win a Wii, or not a Wii, sorry, a Switch. I'm three systems behind. So to get that frame, it's at neic.org/FFF for Friends Follow Friends. It's also on iHub. So that's a great way to get your young person a free Switch. I believe we're taking entries until the end of the month for that Switch. And we have 3 Switches throughout the council that we're giving out. So that's just a fun way. They get to decorate this frame however you want. And a good way to get the word out about scouting for with your friends. And instead of just a general push to BeAScout.org, you could push your direct link to your Cub Scout pack, and be a good way to get the word out to friends. Another item that we're offering as a council is our Cub Scout starter kit. We're after August 1st, so it is $120 now, but it's still a good package for new scouts, and it feels like for a new parent that they're actually purchasing something right away, because they are. Worth that $120, you get access to Backyard Scouting, which is our online and at-home summer camp program. You get a handbook, a neckerchief and slide, and your membership dues, your national membership dues, paid to the end of the year. So this is a great thing to push out to young people. Our last meeting, we had a lot of questions about national fees and the fee changes. So I'm going to run through them very quickly. I'm going to give you a guide on how to do the math for them in the email followed up after this. So that should answer all the questions. Our new fees effective August 1st are $66 national fee for youth members, $42 for adult members, and new for new youth joining scouting that have never been involved before, it's a $25 one-time fee. And then we have a $9 local fee for insurance. And if they'd like the Boys Life magazine, that's $12 a year. And you're able to prorate all those minus that $25 one-time joining fee. So our fees are based on a calendar year, not the school year. So the fees go through December of this year. So here's a couple of examples here. If a new youth joins in September 2020, the $66 breaks down to $550 a month. There's the new youth fee. Boys Life's $1 a month, and that insurance, that $9 is 75 cents a month. So that breaks down to $54. And then there's an example if they were paying through December 2021. Or sorry, that's an example on the right. If they're paying January, they join in January through December 2021. So you can see what a full year of scouting would cost someone. I'll also email you a chart, like I said, in the internet, or in the email following this, so you can see those breakdowns of fees. So I'm going to toss it here to Anne to talk about our meeting during COVID.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anne. Again, I'm a volunteer for this organization. I don't have any scouts in, my boys are older. They're in their 20s, mid-20s or late 20s. So I'm going by what I hear out there. Schools are closed. They're just not going to let anybody into the schools. They don't want it. I'm hearing everyone is going virtual. They're all working from home until end of October, sometime in November, and always subject to change. So how do we keep the scouts active? How do we keep them involved into scouting? How do we keep the parents involved? Now keep in mind that most schools have closed since February, March, and most units haven't met. So how do we get them back in? As we mentioned, do activities outside. Get your units together outside. We had this meeting last week. Somebody said they have 15 scouts in a den. Well, now unfortunately we can only have no more than 10 people in there. So what you need to do is start breaking your dens down. From that 15, make 2 dens. You can have meetings in your front yard, your backyard, and with a hula hoop or some spray paint or something, just circle, and this is where the scout stays. And you can start having your meetings that way. Unfortunately, we live in Chicago. Chicago's weather is bad. We know all that. And how do you do meetings outside with the weather? It's something you have to play with. Maybe you don't have meetings outside and you start doing your Zoom meetings. We have to keep these scouts active and involved. New this year is that the parents are allowed to sign off on some of the advancements for these scouts. We want them to keep going. A scout is honest. So we're saying that the scout is doing the requirements that they need for that advancement to go on. Again, you go into Scoutbook as Chris Hershey explained, and everything can be done, updated there, and the den leader signs off on it, saying, yes, he's met all the requirements. The biggest thing is we want to keep our Arrow of Lights, our first year and second year Weeblos active. Where our enrollment is going to be down. These kids have had too much freedom, and it's like, oh, I really don't want to do it. We have to get them going. So den leaders and committee members and scoutmasters, we need to start pulling them back in. It's like Jonathan said, that a lot's going to be on the parents' plate this year. So how do we get our foot in there before the school starts getting in there? So start reaching out to your units now. Commissioners or parents, start reaching out to your adult leaders, parents, I'm sorry, and see what's going on. See how we can get them back into scouting. As I said, my kids are gone. Scouting has done so much for everybody. And right now, these kids need more of a stable life, what's going on in this world. And to socialize on their own peers and talk about what's going on and have some fun. There's a bunch of stuff you can do outside. As Tom McFadden said, we have 2 campgrounds that have a bunch of equipment up there. So you don't want to take the trip up there. So why don't you all get on a bike and you can pedal around the neighborhood. There's bike paths all over. I'm losing my mind. Glenview Park over there has a couple of them. I live in Glenview. So you want to keep the scouts going and active. That's all I have to say. Right now, you have to reach out to them and see where you're at. If you need any help, let us know. Jonathan is there, and he'd be more than happy to help. I'll be happy to help. We have some other commissioners and some committee members that would be able to help and get you going onto the right track to get them more active. That is all I have.
I'll just add that one of our topics that keeps coming up is socially distancing younger scouts, your lions, tigers, wolves. What's been helpful for PACs that are meeting is reminding parents to remind their young people before they get to the meeting about social distancing and what they have to do to be safe. And then when you start your meeting outside, to remind them at the meeting that they need to be safe. And for younger kids, some crazy examples of 6 feet, because they can't visualize 6 feet, is a good idea. So like a cow, something that they can get, something big, you might even want to say a car, so they get that I need to be far apart from people. Also, some of the PACs have been using visual cues like traffic cones. So those are some thoughts to get to think about to get some social distancing for young people. We already touched a bit on our camp events with Tom speaking about those at the start of our meeting. So, and some PAC events you can do. I did want to touch back to Russ if he had anything else to add.
so specifically about membership, I think you did a great job covering it. The drive-in recruitment events, some really great information. Sample example video is going to go out very, very soon. And I believe it's actually currently live on Facebook and YouTube. And that's a great thing. We show you how to socially distance from people who show up to your drive-in recruitment event. We show you how they get a single point of contact as they go through, so we're not passing people along from this person to that person. And also, it's going to go out tomorrow with 5 signs for each pack. So that's a great thing for you to come up with your event, let us geofence it for you and run some ads for your event, put out your signs, get your parents together, and have a good, exciting time. You know, people love the car parade, and that's kind of where this idea came from. You know, you've probably all seen videos of car parades, and they're a lot of fun. So I think that's one thing. Also, the contest that John hit on. This is a great way, you know, to get, you know, Ann was also talking about get the kids excited again, and that's really what the contest is for. It's you know, the kids can get their uniforms on, they can color the frame, they can actually start doing some Cub Scouting and share that out on social media, and then have the chance to win a Nintendo Switch Lite. So if I can take just one private moment and say hi, a little quick shout out to some people who are on the call tonight. Teresa, my mentor in scouting, Mike, Gabriel, Dale, Nancy, Catherine, and so good to see you all tonight. And I think if I haven't mentioned your name, if I don't know you, I'll put my phone number in the chat. I've also put the press release sample and the press list in the chat. And so maybe during question and answer, we can just have you, someone can show you how you save that chat. Okay, so that's a great way for you to kind of see what was you know, what the resources were tonight. And so so I think I'll also put my phone number in there. If you're a leader, a commissioner, part of the district team, I would be happy to talk with you about membership in your particular situation. So I'll put that in the chat, and thanks for the opportunity, John.
Thanks, Ross.
Yeah, I do want to add something. This was mentioned last week about the safety of the campgrounds and everything. Just so you're aware, parents, when you're renting out equipment at one of the campgrounds, that equipment is yours for the weekend. It's not where it's going to be shared with another unit. So the safety of, oh my gosh, my son is touching somebody else's bike and all that, that bike will be used over the weekend, and then it will sit for 5 days before another unit will use it. So that's the way they're going to sanitize it and make sure it's all sitting there. So it's not sharing of any equipment throughout. And the other thing is that when you go into you're renting a campsite and stuff, people can't come freely in and out of your campsite. And it's just for the precautions of the safety of the scouts and the parents that are there. So if you have any more questions about that, Tom McFadden can answer those, and so can Jonathan. Thank you.
Thanks, Ann. I will quickly run through popcorn, and then we'll get through our Q&A, and hope to hear some feedback from everyone on the line here of your ideas, how you're continuing scouting during that Q&A. So popcorn, everything you can find on popcorn is on neic.org/popcorn. I'm just going to highlight a couple of quick changes to popcorn. There's a lot of changes. So if you're selling popcorn, and I hope you're selling popcorn online or even in person, I would like you to take a look at that website. Everything is on that website. And there's a PowerPoint on that website that highlights all these changes. So first off, there's been some product changes due to COVID. There's been some changes to the online products. There's more products available online than there were last year. There's more products at a lower price point than last year too. So there's some entry level one. And our online sales are live, and they have been live. So there's been scouts already selling popcorn this year online. Also, there's been some enhancements to the application, the phone app that scouts would be using to sell directly. One of the cool features this year is they're going door to door or selling to a friend. They can sell popcorn with a big sign, and that person could say, I want the caramel corn or whatever they want. And so the scout could type that into their phone app, and they could text the person a cart with all that they wanted to buy in that cart. And then that person would enter their credit card information and address and click buy. And then from that point, the popcorn will be mailed from Trails End to that person. So there's no touching at all involved in that transaction. We also have tappable card readers. So there's another way to do a no-touch sale. Trails End is encouraging online sales. So the prize program this year, you get 2 points if it's online direct, 1.5 points if it's a credit or debit card sale, and 1 point if it's a cash sale. One of the best resources I can point you to is the Trails End Facebook groups. There's a handful of them. There's one called Trails End Facebook Community. That's probably your best one. That one has Trails End staff members in it that are constantly monitoring it. And they have a lot of positive, active scouters that are just posting how they are selling popcorn during COVID. So there's a lot of cute pictures right now of Cub Scouts with their signs going door to door. They have giant descriptions of the popcorn, so a person could look and buy their popcorn and be 6 feet away. Another change was the commission structure for physical product in hand. That was 33, now that's 35%, and online is still 30%. Something that everyone should be aware of is that our initial orders are limited because of COVID. We're not expecting as many sales to happen, so we're limiting initial orders. And with that, no returns are going to be accepted this year. So we don't want you to be stuck with extra popcorn. So again, neic.org/popcorn. We did a training last night, a webinar on popcorn, and that one was recorded, and that one will be on that website too. So with that, I want to thank Ann for putting this all together. This was Ann's idea. I just put the PowerPoint together and sent out the invites. She's really spearheaded this, and thank you to everyone who presented and attended tonight. We're going to move into our Q&A. So we'll start with any questions. Feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question, or pop it into the chat. And with that, if you are not a frequent Zoom user, if you open your chat box, there's 3 dots on the right-hand side of that, and it says more. And if you click save chat, you can save the chat. So you can save everyone's phone numbers and the documents in there too. That's your Zoom tip for tonight.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Ray from Pack 18, um, Cub Scouts. I do have a couple questions, and I'm hoping that somebody has a good list of some things that might be able to help us out. We try to get ahead of the curve to plan our activities early, and we usually permit for Cub Mobile, Rocket Day, campouts near the school. But I was informed by the village earlier this week that they won't be granting us any permits until we're at a phase where they're giving the vaccine. So unfortunately for us, it doesn't look like within our direct community in Winnetka that we're going to be able to do anything within our neighborhood. So rather than me trying to go down a list of communities that might be open where we can do things that will require a permit, like Rocket Day, do you guys have like a list of communities that would be open and let us to grab a permit or something of that nature so that we can do those activities?
I don't know about other groups, but my troop has been meeting at the old Malincrot Park, which is now the community area. I'm not sure whether they require a permit. We've just been meeting there on Monday nights. You probably couldn't shoot rockets from it, but
Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing meetings. Like we're scheduling our initial meeting with the leaders next Wednesday in a backyard, and I think Cynthia Rapp is on the call, and her den has been meeting at a park. So I think we're good on those. I'm just talking like the bigger activities where we get the larger draw. Um, that's obviously a big recruitment piece for us too. Is say, hey kids, you're going to build a rocket and launch it, and then drive a go-kart down a hill. But I don't think we're going to be able to do that within our neighborhood. I just don't know if there's a list of other neighborhoods that are doing it, because I'm more than willing to call them up and say, yeah, I'll tell somebody to drive 15 minutes over there rather than wait at ours.
So Glen Clow, just north of you, just issued a permit for a pack there this week. So that might be an option. There's no unified list that I have. It's what I hear. So we can.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't know that, and that's awesome news. I'll gladly call Glencoe. That's great. Thank you.
The best thing to do is every week everything is changing in what we're hearing on the news and everything else. They're talking about, oh, wait a minute, we're going to go back to phase 2 again because everything's going on. You might just have to call the villages every week, and and I'm sure they understand that. Are you allowing this? Can we do something at your parks or your facilities? I mean, right now, Mobile for the council is on. It's there. But it's subject to change, and we just don't know until probably in September what's going to happen. So that might be a lot good luck. And if you know of anything and you hear it, if you can let Jonathan know so he can add it to his list if someone calls.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
No, thank you. Can someone shed some light on how have they been meeting and how they have been meeting and what have you been doing?
I could talk about, I'm Cynthia Rapp, and I'm with Mike and Pack 18. And I can tell you that for the girls, we met at least once this summer, and I just had people bring their own chairs to the park, near where we all live, and that was fine. I mean, it was fun. The girls loved it. We did like an outside colored ping pong ball hunt.
Oh,
and
okay.
we looked at animal skins, and I had tables set up far apart so that the girls could look at them like individually. And then we had a hand sanitizer for each of them. So, I mean, the kids really love being together and being social. So I do think it's important. I will say that I've had a couple girl parents reach out to me to say that they were planning to include Scouts in their fall activities because I'm not sure that some of the sports that usually run are going to run. So I think that to the extent that some activities are not running, it does create opportunities for Scouts to be a little bit more prominent. So
yeah, I agree. That's what I heard too. I mean, I know the high schools have, this is Boy Scouts, but they've canceled all their winter sports or fall sports which runs in the winter sometimes. So they've canceled all those. So now is where we have to start. Where is open? I mean, I know football has been canceled, soccer's been canceled. My grandson plays baseball, so baseball is still going on. I don't know if some of them have fall ball or whatever, softball. I know our village has hockey and they're promoting hockey, so I guess that's going to go on. So certain things that we know that are going to be canceled, especially during the week, is where we need to start getting these scouts back into these kids back into scouting and invite some new people to join, because it's something that these kids are doing. They're getting tired of sitting at home on these Zoom accounts and playing video games and stuff. Get them active, get their minds going and their buddies, to get them seeing each other again. Some parents are just, you know, oh my gosh, my kid can't go out to so-and-so and all. And I understand, I really do understand, but these kids want to see their friends. They want to make new friends. They want to see what's going on out there. So that's where we have to help them and get going. So doing that with the girls was really great. Congratulations and thank you.
So I did have a question though, just to clarify for the den meetings. I mean, is the limit 10 still, or has it gone up to 50? Because I know there was communications, like what exactly are we able to do? Because I do see it as a barrier, frankly, to recruiting. If, you know, you can only have packs of 8 and then you're 2 adult, like 10 is a barrier, because then basically if you get more people, you're like, oh God, I've got to get another den leader. And that's like, and that is that is an uncomfortable and tough sell when someone's walking into a meeting for the first time to be like, hey, if you want your kid to do it, you need to sign up and lead it.
Our guidance follows the state's guidance. It's 50 right now, but
Okay.
With that one pack we were talking to last meeting, we recommended that you might want to consider making your den smaller. It might be easier to do as the year goes on.
Yeah, no, I agree if we go back, but I feel like for the fall recruiting, it's easier to ask people to step up if they need to lead a Zoom meeting or a small in-person meeting. But I feel like for the recruiting, it's like not that easy to be like, okay, you can be a den leader too. And
Yeah. Well, right now we have to follow what the state law is, and if you were going to Wisconsin, you follow their state rules and what their policy is. Just so you know, it's if you're, to isolate yourself, you're going from Wisconsin to Illinois and stuff. I think it's over 72 hours or something. I'm not quite sure on how.
So we have a camp in Wisconsin. So if you go there for the day, if you're into Chicago, you do not need to self-isolate. The rule right now is if you're in Wisconsin for 24 hours, and you're probably not going to be interacting with any Wisconsinites at our camp.
Yeah. So everyone's clear on that. But yeah, and I understand, you're pressuring parents stuff. Oh, wait a minute, like you said, join, you got to be elite. Sometimes it's like, how about if you help out somebody who's older, that's been around that unit for a while, and saying, okay, well, how about if you shadow them and start going a little bit different? But as far as I know, a lot of parents don't want any more than, 10 kids in any group, especially the younger ones. I think they're kind of limiting themselves with the daycare and all that, what I heard. But my kids are older, so I really hearing, like Jonathan, just hearing word out of there. Does anyone have any other questions? Any concerns? Anything we can help you with?
I have a question about the geofencing. So how many days is the council covering, and what area? How much of an area is it covering from the spot that you're choosing?
So we're choosing it depends on how dense your area is. We're picking a radius around where you would normally meet. It's normally 2 or 3 miles around that where you meet, and it would be a week before your meeting. So we'll buy an ad buy for the week prior to your meeting. Ideally, this would be your like line of cars that drive up before and pick up kids from a school. This was the original thought. So it would pop up in the mom and dad's and when they're scrolling Facebook. But so a few miles around where you're meeting is or if you give us a different location, we can pop in a different location too.
And if I can add a point, I made the point on the last meeting we had like this. Definitely have your parents share the event out. That is actually the biggest way to get traction with your event on Facebook. And then when we add the geofencing, the algorithm frankly knows a little better about who your event was shared with, and it just simply works a lot better than us simply advertising your event. Thanks, Dale.
Thank you.
There's a question in the chat of where to send that information to. Just go ahead and send that to me. I replied with my email in the chat there. So if you have a meeting coming up that is to ask new families to join, please get that to me. The earlier it's to me, the more, then we can make sure it actually gets up on Facebook in time.
Any other questions? Any concerns?
Yeah, I've got one. So I'm a brand new Cub Master, so obviously a little different situation here as far as trying to set up from a pack meeting perspective. Has anyone come up with any like good list of ideas of how to do pack meetings at this time, other than virtually? If you can't, like we were thinking about splitting our pack up and doing like 2 sessions, but from a program perspective and the social distancing, because it's a bigger group, I was just wondering if anyone had some go-to ideas that they've already come up with or already played with.
Can I ask how big your group is?
We're about 45 scouts. So,
Okay.
What's your pack? 627 in Gurney.
So what I've seen other group packs do, you're right on the edge. So it depends what your attendance normally looks like. If you're going to be below that group of 50 or not, if you include the parents. Other packs are having outdoor events, outdoor games. They'll have crafts and they'll pre-package their crafts. So it's an individual sandwich or Walmart bags to hand to each family to do the crafts as a family. So it's changing your pack meeting as one that's focused on just your dens to something that can be carried out by parents. That's what I've seen other packs do for in-person den meetings. A spin on that I've seen other packs do is they'll drop off the crafts and activities to houses and then get together on Zoom, do their activity together on Zoom. So those are, if you're doing a virtual option, that'd be another option. I don't know if anyone else has seen any other ideas.
This is Chris Steffen. I'm the Cub Master in Pack 1 in Wilmette, also a new Cub Master. And we tried to get creative with our blue and gold. We postponed it until late June. And then we did a combination in person and online where we had a scheduled drive-by by den to pick up your advancement hardware and see your meeting. And we did a joke off and a slideshow and a speech from the Cub Master and that kind of thing. And it got, it was pretty well attended.
Thank you.
And if we're all willing to work with you too, to come up with plans, it takes a very creative ideas and a lot of brainstorming to work during this time. So if you get more into that planning process, please feel free to reach out to your commissioner or to the staff member. We're always happy to help brainstorm with you and come up with a plan that works with you, for you.
Thanks much.
Does anyone have any questions about Scoutbook that Chris or Brian can answer? I think the presentation that Brian gave today was really great. Thank you very much. I mean, Chris, I'm sorry, Chris. Thank you very much for that presentation. It really, I learned some stuff that I didn't know about it. So does anyone have any questions?
I have a quick question just about the actual roster maintenance. There was a reference to the actual roster of, I wasn't sure if it was just scouts or scouts and families being managed in Scoutbook traditional. I assume that's the older web system rather than the on mobile device critter that the videos were highlighting. What I guess I didn't understand what was referred to by Scoutbook traditional, not having ever used any variant of Scoutbook myself.
Chris, can you answer that?
Chris, you're muted.
Okay. Well, the Scoutbook traditional has been around a lot longer, and it's made more from an advancement chair and a control, an advancement function in the total concept for both packs and troops. So it doesn't have graphics and backup program material as widespread. It does have in it the requirements that are in the handbook, and those can be checked off there. And then there's some functions in that portal that a strong advancement person within the pack would be making. Like, let's say, because when new scouts join, and then they'll show up, and then they need to be assigned to a den, like in that platform. And we didn't really talk about that platform because the den leader experience being new is really aimed at getting some good support to the den leaders in terms of planning the program and everything else. So at the last Zoom meeting that we had last week, we talked a little bit more about the Scoutbook traditional, but then tailored this presentation to be just on the Cub Scout den leader experience. So does that answer your question, Seth? Or
Yeah, it does. I just wanted to make sure that that's not something that, in all likelihood, the Scoutbook traditional work of doling people out into dens would be taken care of by somebody who's, probably at the pack level rather than a den leader consideration.
And also there, within the Scoutbook traditional, the key three, which is the Cub Master or Scout Master and the committee chair and the chartered org rep, they're the ones that kind of hold the keys to access to those functions and admin. So if you think of it like another database that's got administrative controls on it, and then that interfaces directly with the national database in scouting where the advancement records are kept for, and even more importantly for Boy Scouts. Like even last night I was on Scoutbook traditional because adding 3 merit badges for a Troop 916, a scout that had just made all of his Eagle requirements. And then, and then that also Scoutbook traditional, you can even generate an Eagle Scout form where it fills in like a whole bunch of stuff for the scout. So, it's almost like if you think about there's an IT suite of tools that scouting volunteers, like very hardworking scouting volunteers, have put together. And I think it's pretty, some people are intimidated by it and some people embrace it, but it's really good to see how much work and how much everything is being improved.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris, for that explanation. Sure. Does anyone have any questions about the charter fees for 2021? How they're breaking it down? If you sign up scouts now to the end of the year or to the following year? Keep in mind this is only for national. This is for only national. This does not include your fees that you might want to add on to cover some of the costs of what's going on with your scouts.
And after this meeting, I'll send you a little cheat sheet here.
Thank you.
I had a question just about the scouts getting their books. So they register and then they automatically get their Weeblos book or their, Wolf book or whatever. How does that actually happen? Does it just get mailed to them? Does
Yeah,
the pack get it, or?
It depends. If they sign up for the package that I mentioned, that $120 package, yes, they'll get their book, their neckerchief and slide all mailed to them. If they're just joining the pack and paying regularly, they'll have to pick it up at our scout shop or from the pack. Some packs buy handbooks out of their own budget, some don't. That's up to the pack.
Okay.
Any other questions? Concerns? Suggestions, ideas?
I put in the chat my email address. If anybody needs crafts, and if you're really nice to me, I'll even package them up for you. Please contact me. I'm the Cub Scout Roundtable Commissioner, and I've been getting an extended vacation this year.
And Mary has everything.
Please be nice to Mary, because we all have to work with her too.
Yes, because we need to find crafts.
And most of it's in my basement right at this point.
Mary,
Thank
you do a
you.
great job. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm here for you.
If you need ideas of a craft project or anything, Mary's the person you want to talk to, because she has every idea out there and she will make it work for you. Thank you, Mary. Anything else? Okay, I would like to thank Jonathan for doing the PowerPoint. Chris, Brian, thank you for talking about Scoutbook. Tom, talking about the activities. Russ, talking about membership. If you have any questions and you forgot about them, or you have any concerns, always call or email Jonathan. He's your best source to go to, and he will get the answers for you. Also, reach out to your commissioners. Your commissioners have a lot of answers for you all too. And if they don't, they know where to go to get the answers. So at that point, we are 10 minutes early. Yay. Yes. If you have nothing else, then I would have to say thank you very much for showing up and listening to our presentation. We will talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
the time. Thank you.
There you go.